Let's come on back into the group. So just from a couple of conversations with the guys at the front here, some really good starting points, or some really positive changes the lads here were talking about. 3 dot points describing the characteristics of the tap beers that are written on the back of the tap beers. So as they're getting poured, they can actually chat to the customer about that beer. So that's a great little innovation, a way to generate a conversation about something clearly they've got an interest in because they've just ordered the freaking thing. So how do we build on that conversation? How do we make it personal? How do we make it about them? Nicole was talking about Mylene being quite quirky, its layout and its interior, so its environment, its internal environment. But then also about getting to know the regulars, getting to know people's names, having a pub card where you've got their names on it, so you know what they're doing, making record of conversations, and also remembering, making a point to remember a conversation that she may have had with that particular client a month ago, and then when she sees them for the next time, asking about that. Now that makes it personal, makes the experience personal, which makes us feel what? Valued. Exactly. And that they care. And there's not a lot to be said outside of, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. So small things like that build into that level and that demonstration of care. Groups at the back, what did you guys have?
Somewhat similar, I guess, working in the same place in the goal is providing the excellent service with the personalised service as well, going back to trying to make people feel valued. For us, one of the big things at the Island is large package and tap beer selection that we consistently change, just in little ways, keep it interesting, trying to keep it updated, and also do it at a very reasonable price. And something we were going through just yesterday is a lot of people in the group is well above average coffee, providing excellent espresso-based coffee for people to come to. They're getting a high-quality cafe in a pub setting, which just comes as a very pleasant surprise.
Because we've become coffee snobs, haven't we? In many cases. We have, in our own way. It's become huge. I mean, Adelaide. Yeah. We're kind of the new Seattle, but there's been a lot of cities that have done it in between. Coffee is huge over there. It's become really big here. People are making decisions on what that coffee tastes like. Then they're well, if the coffee's bad enough, I wonder what else is here. Or we're not coming back. We'll go back down the street. We'll go where we usually go. So little changes like that, and what's the improvement? If you're delivering high quality coffee, then one of the things you might look at is, well, what could you add to it? What might be the little thing on the side, or what might it be, or what's going to entice them back? You guys will know better than I will, but they're the ideas we're looking for. What did you have for yours for WOW? Are you with these guys? Or you? Yeah. Did you come up with any?
Unley, which is the old boat.
Yep.
And one thing we do really well is we've got a really brand new venue. We have staff that have actually been there for years, and there's ones that know everything about every single beer that's ever came out. Then we've got winemakers that are working there. We have people that brew their own beer working there. So pretty much at all times, there's someone there that I can go, you like beer? Talk to this girl and she will sell you whatever you want, or whatever she wants to sell you, and she can buy it.
Do people know, when you're marketing, do people know you've got winemakers working there? Do they know they've got people that run their own breweries working there?
Yeah, we tell them that kind of stuff as well. And that just lets them know that we're not just talking crap about what the boss has told us to sell this week. It's actually because they actually care about what they're selling and they want you to have something that's good.
So potentially that becomes what allows you to stand out from the crowd in all marketing that you do.
Yeah.
Think like Loberthal Beer House, Loberthal Beer House. I mean, essentially you're doing it 3 minutes outside the city.
Yeah.
People that are brewing in there. That's great.
Yeah, we sell a lot of local beers and stuff like that as well. We have a bottle shop next door that buys for our whole group, and he gets a lot of really limited release stuff and gives it straight to us. So we had a couple of cartons of some beer, Overla. It's from America. And it's made by a abbey full of monks, and it's got a champagne cork in the top. It's
really angry about that.
We got all 5 cartons that came into the company. Yeah, so I'm just $20 a bottle over the bar for a 400ml bottle. But as soon as you tell people that there's only 5 cartons of this in the country, they're give me 3.
Have you guys ever read the book Psychology of Persuasion by Robert Cialdini? Talks about the 6 laws of persuasion. One is law of scarcity.
Yeah, as soon as we tell people that this is a limited release, they're just
Limited time offers. It's also knowing your customer. So there's some people that want the best of everything because it builds into their level of significance. So in my head, I'm thinking like a quick, short fire social media marketing campaign about only this amount, or having like a beer appreciation club or something like that. A way that you can segment the people that come in, and offers like that you could make periodically for one time only, or for this month only, or limited release stuff. That actually really fires people up to want to buy. That's if you're not doing it already, or you're doing it well. Certainly in my mind, I'd be thinking that's a way that you could look at putting in an improvement plan, which is okay. Well, maybe every 3 months we have something like that, or you start.
We're doing one a week.
Brilliant.
A different beer every week that's limited release.
Brilliant. So small things like that will make a massive change. There's a fella that I knew through worked in a butcher, and he started putting in similar to you, with a special cut of the month, like particular type of product that they were putting through the butcher store. He increased their sales over a year by close to 36%, I think, was in sales, social media. Target your market, go to them consistently, make an offer that's specific to them around something they like, and they were just snapping it up. And it's that same principle. But the book is, I think, Psychology of Persuasion or something like that. Robert Cialdini, Cialdini. You guys?
One thing I sort of see is we certainly pretty good staff.
Pretty good?
I'd say they're not the greatest. There's obviously room for improvement. But one thing our boss encourages us to do is to learn something about the customer.
Excellent.
Obviously we've got, being the Morphin Arms, we've got a lot of horse owners and trainers and stuff that come through. So you've got to keep an eye on the form guide and know when that person's horse is running, so you can sort of have a chat to them about it and say, hey, notice it's running Saturday.
Yeah.
What's the chances? Have a bit of a yard sort and make it feel personal.
Yeah. And I guess if you've got lots of horse owners, those horses aren't so good. It's good to know where you can get some extra product if you need to. I'm joking.
That's right.
I'm joking, obviously. So that's a really good point. It's essentially networking. What you're talking about there, isn't it? Networking.
Yeah.
And again, while today's not talking about that, if we want to talk about improving business, customer experience, customer satisfaction, talking about you want to build that solid network with your clientele. This is a really great way to remember it, and this is what I remember it by. GIFs. What are we comfortable talking about? Jobs, interests, friends,
Politics and religion.
family, and sport. That's a really good framework to think about. If you want to cover, what can you cover? You can talk about jobs, interests, friends, family, sport. Yes, you can talk about, was it politics and religion, but you guys also said you didn't want too many fights in your club, so they're often a way to fire up people's emotional states and get them a bit angry. So great way, what do you do, or how was work? Simple icebreaker, which is more than what's your order. Can be along with it, builds into the idea. So I like that one, to be able to encourage them to do that. Get to know more. It's about being, we might have talked last time, it's about being TED rather than ting. Be interested rather than trying to be interesting, which is making the experience about them, not you. Easy way to do it. Yours?
We had a price per head sort of thing is a way that we get customers, because we've got Adelaide Oval, we've got to contend with Convention Centre and that, so we make ours a bit cheaper, but the quality is as good or better than what they get over there. So, they come into us with a budget and we sort of meet that where they go, oh, well, you guys are cheaper than over there. And so, that's one way we can keep up with them, I suppose.
And as long as you're delivering the same value or the same quality, because there's only 3 drivers of business, which is quality, cost or time. And we're always looking to maintain or improve quality, but do it quicker or cheaper.
Well, I think their one package over there for food is probably about $80 or $85 a head, but we're about 60, I think it is. So
Find your competitive advantage and hammer that home the way you stand out from the crowd, which is different for each one of you. Now we're going to have a short 5-minute break, so you can stretch your legs, go to the bathroom, grab a drink, whatever you want to do. Then we're coming back, and for the last half, we've got 2 things. We've got to test your knowledge. One of the things of the program is got to test your knowledge. So we're going to test it on those 5 areas that you would have seen on the other hand out there, your knowledge assessment. You can do a quick brain dump of what you can remember and how you define each one of those areas. Then from there, it's going to hand over to you, and you're actually going to start to develop your business improvement plans for the 3 areas that you will have identified from the 7 we noted down earlier, or the 8 we noted down earlier. All right? 1, you are going to have fully laid out. That whole sheet will be covered. So the why, the what, the how, the when, the who, and the what ifs. All right? That will be nailed down. So that essentially means you're going to walk out of here with a plan that you can take back to your workplace and either implement or go and set out a time to meet, to sit down, to talk, engage with those people that you've identified in the who, to actually look at how you're going to implement that. Now what that means is the plan, so the steps on how you're going to get there may change as you get new information and data. The reason why you want to do it should be so compelling that it becomes a bit of a no-brainer of, well, yeah, that makes sense for us to do something. And that's what we want. Because leadership, but it's harder. I mean, everything we're talking about is leadership. Is 3 things: it's impact, influence, and it's inspiration. So that's the whole goal we're aiming for. You'll have another 2 that you will begin working on. You'll get as far through as you can. All right. Because if you come here, sit, listen, and you don't do anything with it, or you don't take anything away with it, well, it's been a nice 3 hours, but I'm sure we could all spend our time better than just having a nice conversation. So we want some real action and application at the end of it. Okay. So just before we break, so what's the one thing that you've learned? What's the insight that you've had from the first 90 minutes? The new learning you've got, or something that you'd become aware of that you could influence that you didn't necessarily think of before you walked in the room?
Working out the core of the business,
What?
market, target audiences, and all those sorts of things of who we need to sort of, aim it at.
Remember, law of marketing: 1 person, 1 problem. Who's the better shot? The sniper, or the person with the sniper rifle, or the person with the shotgun? Who knows their target better? Sniper does. Yeah, you know who's in your sights, and everything you're doing is designed around getting that target. You get more of them. If you're everything to all people, you're kind of not much to anyone. So you want to know who your market is. So what is core? What are we aiming to do? Who do we want to see more of in our business? And how do we cater for them better than our competitors? What were the other insights, new learnings, new awareness? You're going to give me 1 each, and then we're breaking.
Looking at the actual, breaking down the questions you're asking yourself rather than trying to figure out the answers first, and actually stepping back and saying, well, the how, the what, the when, the where, the why. And look at that before you look at what you're trying to achieve. I don't know, just looking at things a little bit differently. Ask yourself what you're trying to do more clearly before you look at how to do it.
So we get so ingrained in how we think, what we believe, our attitudes, that we just keep delivering the same result. And if we keep getting the same thing, the difference is that we're really asking the same questions or not asking any new questions. So it's always going to be the quality of our thinking, or the quality of our ability to think strategically, with focus, with direction, with action, that will change the result we want. And the framework you've got there is about starting with the end in mind. Or why do we want to make the change? What's the result we're going for? And then working backwards. And there's a great power in that because it's consistency. And we feel comfortable doing it. What else? What do you got? What do you guys got?
It's not just about customer satisfaction, it's customer experience and the sensory experience.
And when you say that, do you notice the difference in how you actually feel about it? Customer satisfaction? Well, I could walk out satisfied. Well, the meal's hot and you got my order, right? Well, I'm satisfied with that. But you know what? What if I go to the next group who asks me about maybe a bit about jobs, interests, friends, family, sports, or talks to me a little bit about the kids, or has a light-hearted joke, or understands, can read my body language enough that, on that particular night, I just kind of want to be left alone a bit. Because customer service is about recognising that it's what the customer wants. So some people don't want to be spoken to. If you just get their order right, serve up what they've got, they're actually kind of happy with that. But other people want a little bit more attention, a little bit more interaction. So when we focus on customer experience, how can we make their night, how can we wow them? That's when our thinking changes. That's when our approach changes. And it's a whole different level. Because most other people will be talking about customer satisfaction. Cool, have them satisfied. But I've been satisfied in plenty of things before and gone on to other stuff. What else? What's the new insight you've got? For yourself or from listening to others? Something you've written down that you haven't shared yet? Come on, guys. Can't have sat there for 90 minutes and just still be thinking the same thing.
Improving on what you're already doing better than everyone else as well to be further ahead.
Yeah, if you're already doing something different that's working, well, how do you do more of that? Or how can you deliver that with a greater result? Can you get to more people doing the same thing? Are there some steps that can be dropped? So yours was a perfect example of gluten-free. So putting through on the I'm glad I remembered it for you. On the menu, showing people how the same dish that's in the standard menu could be made gluten-free, not having a separate menu, but simply by saying, well, if we take out the dressing on that, it'll be gluten-free for you. So finding out the ingredients that can be removed, that means they can order the same thing, but take that out and it meets their need of being gluten-free. I think that's a great one. Takes a little bit of work to design, but makes it really easy for your customer. Gee, I'd like that. Gee, I wonder if I'm going to spend the next 3 days on the toilet. Well, actually, you know what? Here's the menu that tells you, remove the dressing, it's gluten-free, you're safe. Minimises risk, simple decision making, enjoy the meal. Wow, they care about me. That's great. Last to go? Who we got?
Like we were talking about before, trying to get customers to further interaction, perhaps with regulars and new customers, and maybe working into policy type basis to try and build that relationship further. Like just trying to find out customers' names and what they like maybe particularly also with new customers. That's probably really important to really understand. Like obviously we did a lot with our regulars, but with new people as well, we should probably try and push that a bit more.
Yeah. And this might be a perfect way to do it. So interest, well, what are the beers they like? You know, what have they tried before? What are they looking to try again? You can mark that down on the job card, immediately getting details on them, information and data. Essentially saying, what's the one thing we could start to build this relationship around? Well, they like German beer. Oh, fantastic. Well, that's great. You know, we've got this, and this. Which would you like to try first? Could be as simple as that. But you're making it about them. It's perfect. I think it's a great policy, whether it's formal or informal. It's certainly a way that you can build into what you said is really important, which is customer experience. It's huge. Last couple.
I think what you're saying was great, where you can't keep doing what you're doing. You've got to stand out from the crowd. Like we've got a business that just travels along doing what it's doing at the moment, but it's got to improve.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in a group that's sort of it's got 3 good hotels that have been upgraded, and we're the sort of poor child that hasn't been upgraded yet. So we just can't keep ticking along what we're doing because we won't improve.
So I'm old enough to know who Roy Rogers is. You guys may not be. He said, even if you're on the right track, if you stay still, you'll still get run over. And doing same means you're actually going backwards. So what are the changes? So again, I think you've got some great opportunities here to present a well thought out case demonstrating a level of care and concern for the success of the business that becomes pretty compelling for your people to go along with. Huge. And if 75% of the venues have already been upgraded, there's a good starting point there. One last one before we have a quick break.
Well, I was just going to say the same as me, and that you just need to be kind of clearing your goals to start with.
Yeah. Be very clear, very resolute on why you think this is a good idea. Because that builds in emotion. Well, nothing happens till emotion gets triggered, and people will follow passionate people. But also then it comes into the plan that you're going to be walking out here with takes care of logic. Remember, we make decisions on emotion, we justify on logic. If you can cover both ends out, your likelihood of making a change, some form of change, and specifically a positive change, for who? For you, the customer, and the business owner, presents a well-rounded, considered case for innovation, designed around the core of the business, which is a positive experience for the people who come to use it. Because the benefits on that are huge. Who do they know? How can we get them to come back in, and who could they bring with them? That's innovation. That's change. All right. How long do you want? 5 minutes enough? 7 minutes? 10 minutes?
10 would be good.
10? Let's do 10. All right, 10 minutes. We'll kick on. We've got an hour to go. And it's going to be an hour of you guys head down, developing your plan. What I want you to do before that is go to that knowledge assessment page and just very, very quickly run through that. So give us your definition of those 5 terms: benchmarking, best practice, change management, continuous improvement systems, quality systems. You're about to undertake your continuous improvement system. That's the system you've got on that other handout there. All right. But just define those for us quickly, and in some cases identify where you can find the relevant industry standards. So I'm sure there's going to be some best practice policies around preparation of specific food or temperatures of kit. Well, I hope they are. Hope there are.
Food standards.
Food standards. So there you go. There's probably the answer that you'll need for that one. Food Standards Australia, or whatever it might be, or workplace health and safety for responsible service, whatever it might be. Where could you go to get that information? So just give us a quick definition and identify where you can find those relevant industry standards. Going to give you 5 minutes to do that. Each of you spend 1 minute on each one, you'll be done, and we will have covered off what we need to cover off. Then we're going to get into the real meat of the day, which is getting those workplace improvement plans done, business improvement plans done. Okay, so I'll give you 5, then we'll break, and we'll just do a quick introduction to that last sheet. And feel free to confer, coach, mentor each other around what your definitions are.
Change management, is that changing the individual, like people in management, or
Changing the people that manage your business?
Yeah, or
It's not. It's how do you identify and implement change within those practices. So for some people, Liam, it might be, I've decided to do something different and now I'm just going to tell everyone that the change has been made. It's one way of doing it. Others might be, you know, we actually look at each one of we've identified the actual focus areas of our business. We monitor those at our yearly strategic planning meeting, strategic planning day.
So management style, like changing what style of management you've got, sort of thing, like. You know,
No. So change management is, what is the process that your business, your organisation uses to implement change within its operations? How do you manage change? Yes. So is it through?
So if you want to change like a menu, like you have to chef decide a menu, and then it gets costed, and then they send it off to
Yes.
group here, and then they agree to it, or say we want to change this, and then they plan to.
Yeah. What is the process? That's right. So what is the process that you use to identify and implement change? That's what it is. And there should be a process. Well, in fact, there will be a process. It's just whether, is it formal or informal? Remember, the fun is in the fundamentals. So you must have a fundamental way of implementing change. All right, and that's really important because we want to understand that you're getting, or we want to see you demonstrate to us an understanding, appreciation of those areas, because that's the 5 areas you've got there. So that you are understanding benchmarking. So when you're aiming to make changes, well, they've got to hit the benchmarks, all right, or making those innovations. It wants to stay in alignment with best practice, but also you're starting to get very clear on what your change management process is. All right, and as I said, that's what we're giving you, is that process, which is the next form. So you just copy, keep using those. If you need the template for it, contact Fleur or contact myself. Details are down there, and we're happy to send that through to you. Just keep them on file. I don't care. I'll send you the Word document. Just take out my logo, my stuff, stick your own stuff in, and away you go. It becomes your document that you use for any changes. Because the goal is pretty simple: is that we want you to start to organise and order your ideas, your thinking. as I said, when we break down, if we can say, well, the goal is customer experience, there's a whole lot of functions or a whole lot of levers underneath that we can pull on to do that. It's the same when you're building your strategies or your change management approaches. So, first one that you're going to do, you are going to use this form and you're going to pick out one area of your business that you're going to innovate. Because what do we know about the one bright idea? What can it do? Pardon?
Could be worth billions of dollars.
Could be worth billions of dollars. Who knows? Who knows? It'd be good if it was. It'd be great if it was. And who's to say it's not? So, so we want you to start thinking about that idea that you've got and exploring that idea. You know, the idea is great, but the millionaire mindset is understanding the big picture of the idea and then getting down into the detail of, well, how you're going to make that idea come to life. So we want to start to, we want you to facilitate that style of thinking for yourself. You're going to run through the sheet. It's really straightforward. I've made it, I'm not a smart bloke, so I need to make it as simple as I possibly can, and you guys should benefit from that as well. I'm sure you're all as intelligent, if not more so, than me. Most importantly, though, you certainly have a greater level of knowledge and understanding of your industry than I do. Simply what I'm doing is giving you a framework that I learnt from people who are far smarter than me and use to work out the functions of my business. You're going to do the same. We start with why, really clear. We start with benefits. Why? Because we want to actually stretch the gap from where we are to where we're going to go. All right, what will the benefits be? People buy benefits. We explain features, but we buy benefits. And then you're going to work through it very much in an ordered fashion to start to get some clarity and some focus and direction around your thinking. Okay? Go anywhere through here, whatever space you need, if you want to stay in here or go out through there. What I'm going to do is just walk around to each one of you and just essentially coach, guide, manage, push, poke, challenge you on where you're at, so you keep expanding your thinking around this area. All right? So like a mini consult for you of, let's get this idea as well thought out, as well structured as you possibly can. All right? Do you need to fill out all 6 points? No, you don't. Essentially, it's as many as I could fit in there and still keep the thing on one page. That's the only reason why there's 6 there. If you only need 3, that's fantastic. If you need 7 or 9, drop them down there, do whatever you need to do. I do not profess to being a Microsoft Word whiz or Microsoft Office whiz. Okay? Just work through it. So what ideas you got? What areas are you thinking of working on? Just quick hands up. Customer service or customer experience, I should say. Slap on wrist.
Ability to sell.
Ability to sell. Okay, so sales. Yep. Conversion. Is that upselling?
Not so much upselling, just product knowledge. Just like being able to sell.
Okay.
Stuff that's
Brilliant. All right. Product knowledge. Fantastic. Liam, yours was?
The music one that we're doing at the moment is changing us, the people who are responsible for our social media at the venue. So we've got more time and focus on it, and it's not just something that I see as a distraction here, but another little job to get done before you can leave.
Oh, great. All right. I've got some good ideas for you there to get through, so you might be using them already. Fantastic. What about you four over this side of the room?
I'm trying to increase the spend per head during the half-price lunch menu.
Do we try and do anything?
Try not for drinks, but a lot of people, we get a lot of seniors in who don't want drinks, but if we can kind of suggest wines to go with the food that they're ordering, we might be able to sell it that way.
You'll have to bring back sherry, mate. That'll be it for the whole time. That'll be the way to go. It's good. I like it's identifying an opportunity. That's what it is. Identifying a possible opportunity. Yep.
Increasing the amount of downtime in our function rooms, so making sure they're a lot used more than what they are now, so bringing more money into the business.
Excellent. It's good return. Makes it a good business case. So pick your function. Pick the area you are going to improve. Okay? Head anywhere you want and start capturing or start to break down that idea, go deep into that idea on how you will make that happen. How will you do it? How will you get that change across? What needs to happen? We've got 45 minutes till the end, maybe 5 or 10 minutes to tack on after that, given we started a little late. But this is your opportunity to walk out of here with a well thought out, a well planned and a well crafted innovation strategy, change management process. Essentially walk out with a defined result that you're aiming for. That's what we want. Who's got through the first full one? Yeah? So that was 3. Everyone else got through. Everyone's got through their first full one? All right. So out of doing that, what had you identified as an opportunity or possibility for your business?
Identifying strengths and weaknesses of new staff members. We've had a bit of a last 3-4 months we've turned over a few old staff, taken on new trainees and people who've just recently joined the company, and identifying the strengths and weaknesses of their product knowledge and service skills, and organising training and through supplier-based training or in-house training with staff to fill those gaps, and at the same time trying to apply existing staff to the strengths and weaknesses at the same time, see how they watch how they perform in that training, and see the new people or if they previously unnoticed gaps to be filled.
Mm-hmm. So essentially out of doing this, you've identified another opportunity to improve your business through skills assessment, through a skills matrix, through ongoing training or induction processes. So we talk about so training, along with that is recruitment. So when new people come in, what's the policy you've got around inductions?
Well, for us, induction, especially to do with say things like product knowledge, it's more important to find the people who are either willing to learn or at least are already in a position where they enjoy either trying new things or they go out, they don't have to necessarily like every wine, beer, spirit and stuff. They've got to have the things that they do like and are passionate about, and they've got to be willing to say, for example, yesterday their coffee training, come in like Nicole did 3 hours early unpaid to do a 2-hour coffee session. Or they come in on their day off to spend 2 hours learning about coffee, but want to come and do that, not feel like they have to, because otherwise a sulky person is not taking anything in. So, or they just not show up, and the person taking their time out to train us doesn't appreciate it. So it's identifying people right at the beginning who you believe will be willing to come in and do that, rather than those who necessarily already know everything that they like and look at. That's just as important.
So again, opportunity there to improve and update your recruitment policy or recruitment process. So it might be that potentially you get them to fill some sort of online personality profile tool. There's plenty of free ones out there. Again, Google them. Gives you a chance to start to get an idea on who other people are going to do that sort of stuff, who people will go the extra mile. Looking for past checking referees, making sure you've got enough referees and checking to make sure that you are getting the type of personality or the type of individual that's going to fit your environment and work well in your environment. So what you find out of this, you'll actually start to uncover other areas of your business that there's a flow-on effect. Well, if we do this, actually, well, that means we've actually got to improve this area as well, because it'll help us do better in that point. And that comes back to that idea of continuous improvement. Identifying those areas to change. It's a good one. What else did we get out of it? What other areas did you have?
Mine was just to utilise the space that we've already got for future business and sort of clients and that sort of stuff to make it turn over more money, to make it more profitable for the business.
And to understand with yours, what Adrian was, that everyone is part of your marketing department in your business. You might have a dedicated marketing person or marketing coordinator, but everyone has part of it. And as long as everyone's identifying that you're all in it for the same reason, which is to increase the number of customers you've got coming through. That's what it's really all about, and ensuring they get the best possible experience when they're there. It's how do you break it down? So 2 things you identified really well was people that have already used or have already come as customers. How do you re-engage with them, get them to keep coming back, and who else can they bring along with it?
Yeah.
So there's already gains to be made from the people that consistently visit your establishment. So for marketing it might be, well, with the database, how do they segment the database? Who are they? What do they want? What events do they go to? And being able to target them a little more clearly with what they want. Which led on a bit, Ollie, to what you had as well. So from understanding what was core of your business, actually starts to formulate, as you said, a marketing plan. So who are we going after? What do they want? How do we make sure they know about it and give them exactly what they want? So give them what they want and then give them what they need. So what do they want? Is access to the live sporting events or single one-off sporting events. And what do they need? Well, a place to get that, and there's your chance to offer some new menu or some sort of special for coming in to be a part of that particular event, however it works. Did anyone have anything outside of customer focus per se? Like in terms of a policy or workplace health and safety? Or from the conversation, did you uncover anything that might roll into one of the other areas we spoke about?
One for environment, which is changing our house music, which is I went from okay
Sporadic.
to okay, and
Yeah.
it's I don't know,
Goes from
we find it
lovely
quite
to-
frustrating, and the ways we have to go about doing that are convoluted. So
Well, they are,
yeah,
and they might be. Same process applies though.
yeah.
So the question to ask is, what do people, in terms of the core of your business, what do people come to do there? Are they coming there to dance, to rave, to the nightclub, or are they coming there to talk and have a conversation?
I know we've got the thing, a lot of the way there, but just finalising that.
Yeah.
It's basically free time. Being free when this building is open and available. And also removing the music from the menu for a day.
So removing it completely?
Well, to a degree. We can put it up. Yeah.
So same principles apply. To think about, well, who needs to authorise that? Maybe you guys. Understanding your market, what do they want, and getting feedback if you make the change. Because remember, one of the great to make any change, but what's the one thing that we want to know when we've made it?
Evaluate it as it works.
Yeah, is it work? Evaluate it. Yeah, has it made a positive change to that experience, to that environment, or not? So that anything we change, we must test and measure. And again, a lot of conversation around social media, so that might be number of likes, number of shares, number of comments. Revenue is always a key one. What is the increase? Is it increase in sales? Is it increase in spend per head? Number of meals sold. So a range of ways. And again, using that data, you capture that data to form the next evolution of your business improvement. So essentially, that whole process of monitor business operations or plan and monitor continuous improvement is not a single event. You get that? It should form part of a process of review, reflection, refocus, and reapplication, if you like. Did anyone get a chance to start work on a second business improvement plan?
Yeah, I did. Just to look at the kitchen, the food that we produce from the kitchen to make sure it's up with the latest sort of trends and what people expect and that sort of stuff as well. So, but then realistically you have to look at it and go, can we produce it for 500 people and make it the same throughout from the first plate to the last plate? So,
which is maintaining what? Remind me of those three levers. Yeah, standards, which is, what are the three levers of business we've got? Quality, time, and cost.
Yeah.
That's what you're asking, isn't it? Well, how do we maintain quality from first plate to last plate?
yeah.
Do it in a timely fashion. So if you go out and you order your meal and it comes an hour and a half later, what does that do for our experience? Drops it. So how do we deliver it in a timely manner? Number one, also deliver what they said they wanted and in a time that you consider to be good standard. And how do you ensure you can do that in the most efficient use of possible there's a cost to everything. Cost to getting your client, cost to making your food, whatever you want to do. So we're always having those conversations focused on quality, cost and time. What was your second one?
I did staff training for it's more so like just we have like some things in place, but I know it's like sometimes when we're selling things when it's quite busy, some staff aren't really selling as good as they could be, or they're not really making any recommendations even though they know the product knowledge. They're just almost, they're not choosing not to share it, but they're just probably not capitalising on the opportunity. So yeah, just trying to implement different ways about, making sure that training is kind of consistent, like universal throughout the group, instead of a few people pushing really hard and some people not so much. But yeah, obstacles, obviously like the consistency in which people work. A lot of people are there often, some people are there like 1 day a week. It's kind of hard to get that consistency, but just trying to overcome that by monitoring it more carefully, trying to evaluate, maybe continue to test people, keep talking about it while you're working, just things like that. Really.
I like that one because if it's busy, what is the opportunity?
Sell more.
Got more people there, more people to approach. You said in there that some people do it really well, others don't. So who could we possibly engage to deliver that training?
Well, I said here, probably the duty managers that are behind the bar. Our operation, like we're up to here, it's a little bit smaller, it's a little bit more difficult, but generally there's a manager there while serving. Like if it's not the manager serving, so they can probably push a bit harder.
So you find the people that are doing it well, find out how they do it, get that process, that structure, and that becomes your new steps, your templates.
Yeah.
And if you've got someone that's getting the result that you want everyone to get, find out what it is that they do. So what is it that they're doing that's engaging with the customer? How are they asking for the business? What are they using to build up? Is it frequency? Do they sort of ask that person first time? Is it second time? How do they do it? Find out and get them to train. That's improving. Find the person who's getting the result, find out how they do it, which is the strategy, the structure, and that becomes your template, your framework, your policy, your procedure. Hey, if we all do this, it's the law of modelling. And if you model what someone else is doing and you find those steps, well, you're going to get closer to getting the same result. It's the same as when you drive a car. You think of it this way: when you learn to drive a car, one day you don't have a licence, you're not on the roads. The next day you do, you go on the roads. Well, if you follow the system, which is keep to the left, overtake on the right, stop when it's red, go when it's green, show caution when it's orange. Well, if everyone follows the system, the rule of thumb is that we're going to have less accidents, everyone will be safe on the road, and the result we want when you're out on the road is to leave your house and get back there at the end of the night safely. That's ultimately the role. So we find the steps that one person is using to get the result we want, and then we develop those skills, those systems in everyone else. So some really good opportunities for you guys down there at Mile End. One last one. What was another improvement plan that someone had in the room here? Was there something in workplace health and safety, or was there something in leadership mentoring? What were the other ones we had up there? Food and beverage, quality of service. Anyone else have a plan in that, or can anyone think of opportunities to look at those areas outside of what you've just focused on?
And that's going to be always venue specific, or except when I work for the same group here, there's basic service standards which are all expected to meet, but it's going to depend on, style of service and exactly where you are, where the standard already is, and the little ways that you can improve on that, or even tailored to, you might know someone specifically likes their stout to be poured from the tap into a room temperature glass rather than a chilled glass, or knowing that just could be a thing to do. So it's a lot of very small things that is just going to have to be consistently built upon. You can't necessarily train it all at once. It's layers of knowledge built up.
It's looking for the opportunity. It's looking for that little gold nugget in amongst what you already do and presumably do well. That is the improvement, that is the innovation, that is the change. that's going to create that little idea that creates that big change. So let's look at what we've covered. Have you walked out of here today with a clearer understanding of what is core to your business? Like, what's the one thing that you're trying to do for every person, every day, every time they walk in the door? Create a good experience. Becomes customer experience. That's almost been the consistent theme or the consistent message that I'm hearing from you guys, which is important. Have we identified the functions, the areas, those parts that you can look to improve? So rather than say, well, we've got to improve everything, we can actually say, well, specifically, we're aiming to improve this part of the business. So social media was one we talked about. Customer experience was another we talked about. Price per head was another. So revenue. So we can actually get clearer and more specific on areas. So rather than trying to improve everything, we can improve this specific thing. Already focuses our attention in better ways. Did we identify and understand what innovation is? Did you have a conversation around how you already are innovating, wowing your customers, your clients, outside of what everyone else is doing? Did we unlock some new ideas? Because if you walk out of here with the same thinking that you came in and nothing's changed, well then you've probably wasted 3 hours of your time and I haven't helped you in any way, shape or form. So that would be a bad outcome. So have you got some new ideas on things to do?
Ways of breaking down your ideas that are coming away with more, like identifying and taking steps rather than looking at a big problem and going, where do you even start, and leaving it alone. It's how to chip away at what's step one, the who, what,
Yes.
when, where, why. That's what it is.
Yeah. So we want patterns of thinking. That's what it's about. So framework, structure. So you have the idea. Well, maybe I could jot that down in 10 minutes and get a better idea. Well, actually, yeah, that would be a good idea. Or you find out and you go, actually, no, that's not the idea we wanted. But from that, it generates a new idea or a new possibility, a new opportunity in that same space, in that same function, but another way to do it. And that's what you were talking about. When you said, oh, well, maybe we could do the, offer the dessert but have the coffee on us. Something that you weren't talking about 3 minutes ago and then it popped in your head. So maybe that presents more choice on things you could do to do it differently. All still designed around the core of what you do, of the business. Do you think you've uncovered ways that you could further stand out from the crowd? You could further define or delineate yourself from what everyone else is doing? Or even, are there ways you've identified that the clients you've already got, you could actually single out some of them and make them sort of your focus at specific times? So in your case, Ollie, it might be, you might have some people that prefer footy, others that prefer racing. Well, maybe there's opportunity through your marketing plan. Obviously footy doesn't function for 6 months of the year. So how can we really target that group for that 6 months and do enough to keep them coming in? What else do they like? Do they like golf? Do they like tennis? Do they like cricket? How can you identify their interests, GIFs, that you could then capitalise on for the 6 months when footy's in downtime? So maybe there's ways to wow your customers by taking segments of your customer group and making them stand out of the crowd for certain times of the year. And have we identified a way to review those ideas, to plan and build on those ideas for today? Have we? Yeah. So the whole point of today really was to start to get a handle on, get a feel for strategic planning, for monitoring what you're currently doing, talking about listening to ideas, hearing the opportunities in what you're talking about, and then actually be able to put them down on paper so you can see a specific, measurable, definable plan on how you would go from where you currently are now to where you could be. So it's about stretching the gap, if you like, and looking for ways that you can get further down that path, always delivering a result. The result being and an ever increasing customer experience. Because it's not so much about creating more revenue. The revenue will come when you create better value, a better experience. They'll come back, your customer will come back more often, and they're more likely to bring people back with them. So we're always talking about value improvements, innovations designed around that concept of quality, if you like. So to wrap it all up, what is it that you've learnt or you've noticed that you can share with the group around today's session? What's the take home for you?
Just instead of looking at the big picture, break it down into smaller little bits of it. So instead of looking at it and going, oh shit, what do we do there? Break it down and go, if we break, how into this and what into that and where and why, and that, it sort of builds the whole picture of what you actually need to do instead of looking at it as one big unit.
And to build on that, to understand that, you can see more from the top. So what most people do, they'll look at the bottom of a really big mountain and they go, well, that's a really great idea, but geez, it's a long way to get from here to there, and so they don't actually start. The way in which you're learning to do this is actually look from the top down. Well, why do we want to make the change? Like, what would it look like when we've made that change? What will we see, what we hear, what we feel? And then you actually look back down the mountain and go, well, that's actually the way we got here. So it's starting with the end in mind and then planning backwards. It's certainly less overwhelming that way. You go, well, actually, that is a manageable step. Well, we could start there, And remember, the importance is, if all you do is plan, it's just simply another way to procrastinate, to do nothing. You won't actually get anything done. And the importance of planning, or planning is the process of remaining rigidly flexible so you can plan for all the things that you never actually thought to plan for. What I mean by that is that you'll actually start on this process and you will hit hurdles, you will hit challenges, you'll get things that you just weren't expecting. Well, the whole point is you're still moving. The opportunities present themselves when you're moving towards something bigger, brighter, bolder. And breaking it down allows us to do that, because there's less effort to take the first step. What are your other insights?
Yeah, the structure's extremely important rather than just randomly doing things, which is what we've done in the past.
Well, think if you've got a structure in your business now. Chairs and tables are set in a specific position to allow people to walk through your bar. All your drinks are set out in the same place. If every shift your staff came in and the stuff they needed was laid out in different places, how effective would your business run? It wouldn't. So structure, having a set pattern, a set process designed to deliver a single result is critical. It's how every business should run. And there should be a structure in each one of those areas. Should be a structure to that customer experience. From the greeting, might be we use their name. So always structure, always processes, always patterns. That's what we're looking for. Next one. What have we got from the front row? What's your take-home message?
I kind of said it before, but identifying areas that we're doing well, and that we are doing better than other venues and things like that, that we can improve on them.
So it might be something you're doing well where you increase the frequency of that thing, of either marketing that thing, selling that thing, offering that thing. If you know something works, do more of it. It's pretty simple. You want to do more of that, and particularly if it's if it's a high value offering, then yeah, exactly, that's what we want to be doing. Really, really key. The whole process comes down to one simple thing, which is planning, structure, monitoring, test and measure. Find an area you want to improve. Think strategically around the way that you could improve that, and then monitor and measure that result. And that should be done at certain times through the year. It might be weekly management meetings. It might be monthly marketing meetings, Ollie, that you were talking about there. It might be quarterly reviews, or it may be a yearly strategic review or strategic planning session. Whatever it is, the key is that it must be done continuously and consistently. And when we do that, that's when we actually start to find the small opportunities, those small areas of improvement. And when we have those conversations with our team, you find you're able to innovate easier because you're gathering those new ideas, those new improvements from the people who know the process best, which are the people already doing it. That's really what it's all about. So the stretch for you, the challenge for you, the home play, the work to do is to have this conversation, start this conversation with the people that you need to get on board in order to make that change. And we know the sooner you can do that, then the quicker you're going to get to actually creating, seeing, feeling, tasting, touching, smelling the result, the change that you want to get out of it. So again, guys, thank you so much for your involvement and your interaction today. I don't know when we'll catch up next. You do have my details on the bottom of that planning sheet, so I would love to hear your wins and your learns and your successes of what has changed as a result of the ideas you found out of today. And of course, if there's if you want to bounce ideas around, then by all means do feel welcome to make contact with me there, either via email or phone, because I'd love the opportunity to stay in touch and you know, help support you in any way that I can to help you implement and build the teams and businesses that you guys want. So enjoy the rest of the day, and I look forward to hearing from you and seeing you all in the future. You're welcome.